Welcome to the GHQ Crew podcast, where golf meets laughs, legends, and a little bit of chaos. Before we dive into our swinging stories and banter, a quick heads up. The views expressed here are entirely our own and do not necessarily reflect those of the fine club companies we represent. So grab your favorite beverage, kick back, and let's get ready to tee off on a wild ride through the world of golf and beyond.
Welcome to the GHQ Crew podcast live, where we're going to help you make some putts so that you kick everyone's butt. That was a pretty good one, right?
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad. It was decent. Welcome to the GHQ Crew podcast live on this Tuesday morning. Getting started a little late just because we had some issues going live on Facebook. And so if you're watching on Facebook, let us know that it is working. That way we can just know that it's working. YouTube's live. Facebook should be live. Little disclaimer here. We are live, so you can leave questions in the comments, and we will answer them live and in person. But this is going to be a great episode. I'm really excited about this live stream. We have two legends of the shop in the seats today. One that's here
Every time.
Yeah, but we're so happy to have him here today.
Have him back.
And then the other one who's been on here twice. One of his own episode, and then one with Billy National. Welcome back, Jarrod Crowder. Good morning. You want to pull the mic? Hey, will you unmute his mic?
It is.
Okay. So his mic isn't working. We're going to have to make some adjustments on the back end over there. But we're glad to have Zarek and Jarrod. Jarrod, how are you feeling this morning?
Man, I feel great. Back. Back. Yeah.
Back.
Sorry for the crack there. Listen, I just got back from Dallas.
Yep.
And, listen, we have some good friends that are, from the DFW area and such. I don't know how they do it.
What do you mean?
How do you live there?
DFW, it's horrible. It is really, really bad.
I'm not a fan.
Was it not a fan of the traffic or just everything? Fill us in a little bit.
Okay. Not a fan of traffic.
Okay.
Not a fan of, roughly 6 billion people. And everywhere you go, it's, somebody's on top of you. I mean, listen, dude, I'm trying to pull into Taco Bell of all places, and there's 16,000 people at Taco Bell. What do you do about that? I mean, nobody eats there.
You would go to Dallas and eat Taco Bell.
Well, it was post-op.
Okay, yeah, you deserve some Taco Bell. So everybody's going to ask this question, why we're saying Jarrod's back. Why are you back? What happened in Dallas? Why'd you go to Dallas?
Well, I had back surgery.
Right.
I had a disc replacement of the L4, L5 area of my spine, and they went in through the front. I'm even wearing my handy-dandy back brace today.
Back brace.
And, they go in through the front and basically pull my old disc out and put a new one in. It looks like an Oreo cookie.
You got an Oreo cookie in your back?
I have an Oreo cookie in my back.
I'm not mad about the Oreo cookie in his back.
It's a really cool thing, man. And, it hurts like I can't even describe right now.
Okay.
But honestly, dude, within 3 months, I'll be swinging a golf club.
Let's go. As long as you're ready for June.
So if you didn't know,
I'll roll you up, dude.
if you didn't know, Jarrod's back has been hurting for a long time, and I think we finally got some relief.
Yeah, we've definitely got relief. And, listen, I don't want to sit here and talk about backs the whole time, but I am going back. I've got to do an MRI and an X-ray for my neck and my L5S1. When he got in there, he saw that L5S1 was a little worse off than he thought. And there's a whole story about this, but basically they were out of disc replacements.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So apparently the company that Dr. Duffy uses, which, by the way, if you're going to use a doctor to do disc replacement, Dr. Duffy and DFW at the Texas Back Institute, bar none.
best.
I mean, this guy, he's a golfer, number one. Number two, he sat on the panel with Tiger and all that. I mean, so he's pretty good, right? But he's just an incredible guy.
Yeah.
And anyway, he uses this very specific disc, and basically the company that he uses was going to sell, and they get a deal done. It's a done deal, right? They're selling the company. It's good to go. Due diligence is done, and so they tell their employees, and their employees start finding other employment or whatever. Deal falls through last second. So there are no discs to replace with for Dr. Duffy because he only wants to use this other one. He said the other company that does them, he just doesn't like them.
What's
They're
his?
not as good, I guess.
Yeah. So he's out of back surgery discs until they get that whole situation figured out.
Yeah, he told me post-op, he came in my room and told me the story, and then he was like, so I don't really know what I'm going to do. But here's how crazy this is. He goes, Jarrod, I really hope that we can get you, 3 to 5 years before we have to even touch L5S1. He goes, that's how much relief you're going to have in L4.
Wow.
And I was like,
That's kind of life-changing.
that's super cool.
It's kind of life-changing.
Yeah, and I think it's shooting down my left side right now, from L5S1. But I think a lot of that, the great people at Midland Physical Therapy will fix here in a few weeks.
They did. When I had knee surgery, that's where I went to physical therapy, which was the most it was horrible. Yeah. Like the first 2 weeks, because they make you, and all you're doing is basically trying to lift your leg weight.
Yeah.
There's nothing on it, and you're just trying to lift your leg, and it's the most agonizing thing. But the more you go, the more you're able to stretch those ligaments out, stretch your back for you. It just gets better. The swelling goes down.
Yeah, everybody's been yelling at me because, dude, I'm going to lift my backpack up. I'm
Jarrod.
doing it. I got to have my backpack. I'm lifting it. But, I found that you don't really use your back if you go like this.
Yeah, you just use your arm.
Yeah. How's that illegal?
Well, I think the bigger issue is that you take that backpack and you swing it over your shoulder.
No, I just carry
You're
it
just
like
going to carry it like that? Okay. I think that's acceptable. But I think your family cares about you, and they're like, hey, let's not do anything that would risk it. Anyway, Jared's back,
Good point.
and we're glad that Jared's back with a new back. Oh. I'm poet, didn't know it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it. Anyway, welcome back, Zarek. Glad to have you back on the podcast. I want to ask a question to both of you, and this is going to get the conversation flowing about golf. Then we're going to move into some football because it was a crazy weekend in football.
Yes, it was.
It was a wild weekend in football. But what is happening? What's the most fit club right now in the shop, Zarek?
AI Smoke Driver.
AI Smoke Driver?
Still?
It's Jared, it's wild.
Dude.
Over GT?
It's wild. This week was wild. We got AI Smoke Triple Diamond Max. By the way, those were really hard to get there for the longest time. So if you haven't come by and got to hit the Triple Diamond Max, incredible driver. We have a few of them left. We got like 12 of them in, and the very next day we had 7 left.
I believe it.
AI Smoke Max, we got like 10 or 12 of them in, and we have 3 or 4 left on the rack.
Yep.
How about Ping Z's? Did we get any pings?
We did finally get the.
So we got, what we get, 15 in, Clinton?
We got.
What do we got, 4 left?
Yeah, the boy.
So
Old Ping Z saw them come in, and he was like,
so
he's handing them out like Halloween candy.
the crazy thing about Ping, Ping is cool because they manufacture their own their own carbon shafts, and that Alta CB shaft is back ordered until November. So we had to make them a kind of a adjustment call on that, and Z called and put the Tor chromes in them. That way we could get them to ship a little quicker, and those are gone too.
Well, while I'm gone, I can't help myself. I literally log in every day. And so I was checking emails, and a little birdie told me that the new Mizuno shipped.
Yeah, so we do have we have a set of the JPX 925 Hot Metal Pros on the wall right now, and they have a really cool new lambkin grip on them. The new UTX cord grip, they come stock with that, but we have a set on the wall. Also, the OIMIs, the new putters are here,
Hey, cool.
and they look sick.
And they feel really good.
Has the rest of the irons showed up yet? Or?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Just got one set
They're
yesterday.
right behind them.
They should be here today.
Yeah, it's like $10,000 worth of irons
Well, then,
incoming.
if you haven't hit the new Mizunos, there's a video that they can click and watch of the new Mizunos. Me and you tested them out, and they're phenomenal. They look great. They feel great, which is a given with Mizuno. But those irons are here.
Can you do one of those cool things while we're live?
Not while I'm live.
Where you point and go.
But everybody
right here.
watching live can go to the channel and find that video. It's the Mizuno JPX 925 review video. It's under the playlist Club Reviews.
Well, you know how I feel about the Mizuno forgings. I love them.
Yeah.
They've always felt amazing. But I'm telling you right now, those Hot Metal and Hot Metal Pro, even though I couldn't hardly swing at it at
Sure.
the time, dude, those two irons felt awesome.
Fantabulous.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, I've had some people texting me telling me how awesome their AI Fusions and their AI 200 irons are.
Bro. All right.
Just throwing that out there.
Let's go ahead. You're about to say something.
Yeah, he was. I saw it. Yeah, you were right there.
You were about to release it.
I was just gonna agree with Jarrod on how great the Mizunos feel. It's like the best feeling game.
Was it
equipment
you that was hitting those before I left?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Dude, he was going crazy over them. And he's pretty picky.
You gonna get you a set? Nah.
They do feel good.
Hey, he's a Strixon guy.
Yeah, he is a Strixon guy. I want to say this about the AI irons. I had a fitting on either Thursday or Saturday with a 18 handicap. This guy was a higher handicap. I put him in the AI 300 iron, and we tried the AI Smoke and AI 300. He hit the AI 300 better than he hit the AI Smoke, and it was a no-brainer when it came to feel. Because it's buttery soft, and just it kind of blew my mind that those irons are working, and I think they would even go up into the 20s, 25 handicap. They're working way up the scale.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome looking iron. It's an awesome feeling iron. And it's working for a wide range of people. And even if you get down lower handicap, you want to combo those irons. AI 300, 6, 5, and 4 iron, and then AI 200 down below. They're just good.
Well, a few weeks ago, okay, I had to bust some chops. There were some people out there talking about bias. Actually, just one person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do know what
There
you're
was
talking
a guy talking about bias, right? Okay. Shout out to Z real quick because I give him crap all the time. But Mizuno, right? I mean, you've probably fit
Oh my goodness.
a zillion sets of those.
At least, yeah.
Right? And what do you tell me every time? Look, bro, I'm going off the numbers and that's it.
We go through everything.
There's no bias. It's what the numbers tell me to do.
And the player.
Well, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
The path and all that. And I don't know, man. I think those Mizunos are gonna rock and freaking roll, dude. And the AIs have already proven to be awesome. Does Connor even have a mic?
Connor does have a mic. Yep.
Yes.
Connor, what do you like?
Right now?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people probably don't care what you have to say, but let's hear it.
Wow, okay.
Come on, bro.
Dude, it's been, a week? I haven't been able to bust his chops?
Yeah.
Come on.
Welcome back.
I'll walk out of here just fine, Jarrod. We've been seeing a lot of success out of the P7 CBs. since they came out, just the feel. Like even some players that can't,
That's a
I
great
guess,
point.
stand. They can't really play that thin of a club, which is not super thin. But some players that are, higher handicap, 20 plus, they'll hit them and then think it's really soft.
What about? But can you move that guy to 770? Is it close enough?
I'd say so. I mean, depending on the ball striking ability, regardless, whenever they do catch it clean, they love it. I guess it's just a matter of how often they can catch it clean, and that's no diss because kind of in that range too. But P7 CB is feeling great, and it gets a great spin aspect for a player that's a little bit lower as far as launching. So helps them get up in the air a little bit more.
So you're going to love this. So Donnie had a fitting on Saturday with our boy Ryan Gist. And his son Abbott, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, but his son Abbott is a tremendous athlete. And if you had to scale his athleticism, he's still very good at golf, just like his daddy. But it's the lowest scale of his athleticism, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. He just doesn't have as much experience with it. That kid is a world, not a national. He's a national champion as well. But he is a world champion in MMA. 14 years old. Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
So anyway, he was in the shop the other day. And Donnie was telling me about kind of their fitting and all this. And what's funny about this story is Ryan had texted me to set everything up. So I told him, I was like, listen, Z's going to be out of town. I know you know Z and you would love working with Z, but I really think Donnie would be a great guy to work with Abbott. Donnie's really good with the younger group and so on. And I think he'd be great to work with him. And Ryan was like, well, because I sent him that GT driver to try and the AI driver to try. And it's just funny that you brought those two up. Or you brought up the AI driver, but I brought up the GT. Anyway, Ryan crapped on him.
On both of them.
On both of them. He's like, I don't like them. And you know what this guy says to me in the text message, right? I should bring it up, but so I can quote it. But he's like, man, they were fine. I just, you know me, dude. I don't really care for them. I'm really thinking about getting a Cobra. And I went, my God, Ryan, it's not 2004 anymore, dude. Like, you came in, he hit that ping, wrap.
So easy to hit.
He walked out with that ping. He was like, oh my gosh, man, this thing is so stupid. I said, well, I'm glad to hear it wasn't a Cobra. Okay? I was busting his chops on it. It was pretty funny. But anyway.
There's a lot of hot clubs right now. And we talked about this kind of in our year.
His chops on it. It was pretty funny. But anyway.
There's a lot of hot clubs right now. And we talked about this kind of in our year in review. It's not going to stop. Because everything that released for the fall is pushing us right through back into the spring of all the new releases for spring. And the one I'm really curious, and we've been talking about this a lot, is are we going to see a drift away from carbon face from TaylorMade?
They better. That's all I can say. They better.
That's the question, and we've talked about this like a lot. Is will TaylorMade leave the carbon face?
Well, listen, I don't want to crap all over TaylorMade because I'm going to tell you right now, the Fairway Wood and Hybrid series is still top of the line.
Yeah, for sure.
They still make some of the best fairways and hybrids out there. Mm-hmm. And their iron line is undeniable. They've got a great game improvement iron. They've got P790 is probably one of the best-selling irons of all time.
Yeah. Ever since that iron release, was it 2017?
Yeah.
That's been our number one player's distance iron since it came out.
For sure. It feels great, flies great, all that. They better do something about that driver, dude. They're going to get lapped.
Well, that's what I was curious about is how many years do you go in? So this is the third generation of carbon face from Stealth to QI. How many years do you suffer?
Historically, because TaylorMade's had a few dogs in the past. And by the way, not picking on TaylorMade because every company's gone through this.
Sure.
Okay? Every company's gone through this. Some longer than others, Cobra. But did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that?
It's true.
Yeah. But some longer than others. But I will say this. Do any of you guys remember jet speed?
I do remember Jesse.
Okay, jet speed lasted about 4 to 6 months. And they pulled it. So they're like, this is not us. This is not the direction we want to go. SLDR,
Yeah.
they had to have a reactionary club that they brought out in the line called SLDRS. That was designed to get it up a little bit and help it launch because nobody could get that SLDR off the air or off the ground. So I will say this. My bet is that TaylorMade's got something worthwhile coming.
And I
bet
hope
they made an adjustment.
I hope. Everybody sitting in this room knows that I'm a huge TaylorMade fan.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, thank you for the nod to Perry yesterday. I really appreciate
Yep.
that. I'm a huge TaylorMade fan, and I want them to have good product. I really do. And so my hope is, and I think they will, I really do. After 3 generations of carbon face, you would think that a memo would get through and they're like, okay, we got to get back to titanium.
You know you're going to the kingdom, right?
I do. Yeah, I do. That was a great call yesterday. It was really, really good. And I really appreciate the nod. Thank you.
Well, not to crap on you.
Man, here it comes.
No, listen. My man over here, he graciously handed that over, and I want that known.
Thank you, Zarek. I appreciate the nod. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That means
He thought you deserved it, and he wanted to make sure you got to go.
I really appreciate that. That means a whole lot to me. I'm a diehard TaylorMade fan. I
Always
really
have
am.
been.
Where are you going?
So
Hoffier.
I got I got the opportunity to join what they call their national council. It is a staff position with TaylorMade, and you get to go to the kingdom and get fit for your staff clubs every other year. So this coming year, 2025, I'll get to go to the kingdom in Carlsbad, California, to get fit for TaylorMade clubs.
And he's going to get to see all this stuff early.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
get to see.
I don't know if you know that or not.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And no, I'm not going to let you know because Perry's coming on the podcast, and we got a surprise for everybody. So it's going to be good.
Cool.
I'm just going to keep kind of cliffhanger there, but I'm really excited to see what TaylorMade has to come because they have for a long time competed in the woods market, irons market, and it's kind of sad to see that they just kind of are falling down the list because there's so many good ones out right now.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's worth noting. I mean, you're talking about a juggernaut in the business, right?
Sure.
And there are some wonderful people at TaylorMade.
Yes.
And dude, they'll be back. You know, the driver was a little bit of a disappointment, but I will say this. There are several people that driver worked very well for.
Yeah.
You know, it framed well for them. It worked well for them. And so it's not a total like TaylorMade driver sucked this year. That's not what it was.
No, and that's not what we're saying.
But I do think that Titleist is probably Titleist and Callaway are on the right tracks. You know, Titleist with resin and with their proprietary titanium and stuff. And then Callaway, whatever's in that secret sauce, dude, they just keep bringing it.
Yeah.
And it's incredible what they do.
And I don't think it's so much that it's the composite head, it's the titanium face.
Yeah, I agree. I sound is feel,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's probably what turned a lot of people off from the driver
Yeah.
is that carbon face has a
Different sound.
different sound. It's a different pitch.
Sure.
And I don't know if y'all know this, but this is just kind of a fun fact for everybody out there. 80%, well, let me say this. This stat was true at least up until 5 years ago. I assume it's still true. But 80% of the consumer's buying decision is based on
Feel. Sound.
sound.
Really?
Sound. The pitch that they hear on the driver. That's why Ping works so hard on that. Mm-hmm. And if you'll notice, the Ping is not as tingy.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds more solid.
That 425 was a little tingy, but
Yeah, a little tingy.
didn't bother me any.
Well, that thing went,
Went straight.
yeah. Anyway,
I have a question for you guys.
What's up?
So we've seen Titleist, we've seen Callaway, especially Callaway, go the direction of VFT. Do we see some VFT in the new TaylorMade stuff?
well, Connor, the short answer to that, because I'm probably the biggest dork here. Well, maybe Clinton and Z are close with me, but VFT is a 30-year-old technology, number one, and that's been around a long time. So what I'm going to tell you is the way that they're weighting the faces now, bud. Pretty much everybody has some variant of VFT.
Yeah. Todd mentioned that.
Yes.
On the podcast. He's
Yeah.
like, we have a variable face thickness.
Yeah. So to your point, Connor, yes, I think there will be VFT in that. Callaway coined that phrase. Callaway was brilliant to market that phrase. There's a great story about movable weight technology, and I don't know if I've ever told this story in this setting, but I just think it's one of the best stories in golf history. It was the moment when Callaway had a CEO at the time that he didn't work for Callaway much longer after this, and this was the year that R7 was going to come out. Okay, and it was at the PGA show, and there was this massive banner over this the entrance to the TaylorMade area, and it said, "Future #1 driver in golf." And as the CEO of Callaway walked past this banner, he scoffed. And he said, "Movable weights. That's a dead tech. Nobody's going to want to sit there and jack around with the driver. Who's going to want to do that, right?" And at the time, R7, just so everybody knows, when you moved the weight in the R7 driver, you could affect the flight variance about 7.5 yards. That's as far as even on robot testing, the most you could move it by moving the weights was 7.5 yards. And I'm going to give you a little quiz in a minute. Okay, this is huge. Callaway had been the #1 driver in golf at that point 15 years in a row. Okay, nobody could touch Callaway. Nobody. And so this guy scoffed, and he's like, whatever. Well, one of the VPs was like, well, we have that tech. Here's the quiz. Do anybody out there, okay, they can answer it on the thing. Does anybody out there know, A, who the first company was, and I gave that answer, so whatever, that had the adjustable weight technology, and what club was it?
I know that it had the sliding disc weights. Was it the disc that went in the Callaway?
I don't know, Clinton. I'm waiting to see if anybody will answer us.
Okay.
Will they answer us? I don't know.
Yeah, we're live. So there's 10 people watching on YouTube and 6 on Facebook. So if you know the answer to this question is, who had the very first adjustable driver by weight?
Yes, and what driver was it?
And what driver was it?
And what driver was it?
I want to say the Great Big Bertha with that really wide swinging slider on the back.
Nope.
No.
We're
That was-
going way back.
So Connor, that's a great guess, but we're probably 10 years prior to that, bud.
Okay.
Yeah, it was way back then. Connor was in diapers.
Yep. So while we're waiting on answers for that, David Farmer asked, who is the greatest golfer of all time and why? Tiger or Jack?
Tiger.
That was a quick. Okay, Z, that was a very, right off the cusp, quick.
I'm with him.
So am I. I'm a huge Tiger fan, but that was really quick. I want to know why.
Most wins of all time.
82 wins. He's tied with Sam Snead. Yeah.
Come on, get him started.
15 majors.
15 majors. Yeah.
Yet he doesn't have the major thing won, right?
yeah,
I
sure.
get that.
But how does most majors make you the GOAT if you're the all-time wins guy?
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
I also think you have the biggest
impact.
Yeah, impact on the game too.
Oh.
He brought more people to the game than anybody ever has.
Are you suggesting he made the game global?
Absolutely. It's not even close.
Not even close. And that's not to crap on Jack, dude. Jack did some great things.
Jack did some great things. He was
if
a great.
you need any more proof as to
He did the
Tiger's
second greatest thing.
global scale, take a look at Liv. You see how much money and effort they threw at Tiger to get him going. Liv's time.
Well, I mean, Jack was 85. They're not going to throw money at him to get.
What?
I'm sorry. That was I'm being facetious. I apologize.
No, it's all good. If Jack is in his 50s still, do they throw that same amount of money at him?
Oh, that's a great question. If Tiger was Tiger today and Jack was 50 and as dominant as he was, does Liv try to pay him the same amount of money they paid Tiger?
100%.
You think they go after Jack just like they did Tiger?
100%.
I think they go after Jack after they fail on Tiger.
And Jack is so traditional, no shot. Because Jack's trying to roll the ball back. And that's where I was going with my driver discussion, which we'll get back to.
Yeah, and we got some answers.
Oh, okay.
So Justin Thomas says, was it Mizuno? Mizuno was before TaylorMade, and Mr. Allen said TaylorMade R7 Quad, which came after the first R7 that had two movable
Those
weights.
are great guesses.
Yeah.
Now, Justin Thomas, to jump on board with him for a second, he is onto something there. It was not Mizuno, but what most people don't know, the two greatest putter makers of all time
Mizuno.
were Mizuno guys. Scotty Cameron and Bettinardi.
Yep. One of the very first Mizuno putters it was designed by Scotty Cameron.
It's called the One.
Yeah,
That was Scotty Cameron.
it's pretty cool.
If you've got one of those, it's worth lots and lots of money.
Everybody's going to eBay right now.
It's worth lots of money. So here's the answer to the trivia question. Do you want to answer it? Do you know?
You told me it was Callaway Octane.
Callaway Hawkeye.
My bad.
And it had disc weights.
That's right.
Yeah.
Callaway Hawkeye was the first movable weight driver, and it came out literally 4 years prior to R7.
Yeah.
And the CEO at the time at Callaway said that is a dead tech. Nobody's going to ever want to adjust weights. And by the way, my old traditional head, I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought, what a gimmicky piece of crap this is going to be. And it took it by storm, right? And by the way, the R7 was glue in. There was no adjustable cog. It was just adjustable weights. Now, here's what I want everybody to know. 7.5 yards from left to right differential.
Yeah.
That's how much the weights mattered. Today, it's over 80 yards, folks.
40 yards each way.
It's over 80 yards that they can affect the flight with movable weight.
Jeez.
Get you some of that.
What if I'm already able to do that on my own?
Just give me
Unintentionally.
Yeah.
give me a glue driver. I'll start at 40 yards left and make it go 40 yards right.
Yeah. Put that thing in the heel and just spray and pray.
Well, I showed the boys yesterday that your boy has no ability to hit it out of the heel.
Hey,
Can't do it.
that's great.
Nope. Barely hit it on the face.
That's very true.
I've got that shot.
John Kelly said, "Don't forget, Jack and Arnold have a big hand in the PGA Tour split from the PGA. He invested his time and ideas in the PGA Tour."
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
Couldn't agree more. But this is where it gets interesting, right? So we're talking about the driver techs and we're talking about innovation. And as everyone knows, Jack is a big proponent of rolling the ball back because they say that that's what's made the biggest difference. And they're correct. The ball does not move as much left and right. It's a huge difference, as a matter of fact, now than it even was 10 years ago.
sure.
So Jack does have a point there. And who was that said
John Kelly.
that? Okay. Mr. Kelly is exactly correct. Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, what they did for the game is unquestionably incredible. Okay? However, what Tiger gets no credit for. Tiger hit it a long way. Tiger won lots of tournaments. But Tiger was also the best putter that's maybe ever lived.
Mm-hmm. He made everything.
Okay?
When he needed to.
When he needed to. And that's the key, right?
Could we throw in their short game too? And putting?
Yeah.
If he needed to make a hard up and down, it was a given.
Yeah, and here's what I'll say. That putt that Tiger made at the U.S. Open with the blown ACL that he won with a torn ACL, okay? That putt that he made, that little sliding downhiller that was, 10, 15 feet? I truly believe there's one other man in history that would have made that putt, and it would have been Jack.
Jack Nicklaus.
I would say Jack would be the type of player that would have made that, okay? But I'm with you 100%. Tiger has the most wins. He's, one major behind or two?
Three.
Oh, he's 3 majors
15
behind.
to 18, yeah.
After next year, he'll be 1 behind. But
He's
going to win the Masters.
Yeah.
He's going to win the Masters next year. I've already said it. He's 3 majors behind. But how can you say majors are the barometer?
Well, I don't
get it.
Here's the argument that every single Jack lover makes, and this is not dissing on Jack. We love Jack Nicklaus; he's an ambassador for the game. But here's the argument they make: well, if you get to the NBA, only the rings count. If you get to the NFL, only the Super Bowls count. And they use that argument in golf. Well, only the majors should count. Well, if you try to go win, try to go win. Go to win a tournament.
Yeah.
The percentage of people that win tournaments is tiny.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's making Scheffler so special, right? Like, Scheffler's winning so many events, and it really sucks because Tiger set the bar so high. And can you imagine the challenge for the PGA Tour right now? I mean, they've got to find a guy. And Scheffler's probably the guy right now, right?
Yeah.
But how do you replace the GOAT?
You don't.
How?
He's a generational talent.
And here's all I'm going to say. Even towards the end of Jack's career, golf had grown. Okay, here we go. Golf had grown because of Jack and Arnie.
Sure.
Okay? It had an exponential curve. And then here came Tiger.
It's immeasurable.
It went to the stress. Dude, purses, even with Jack and Arnie pushing that envelope, were peanuts in comparison to what Tiger brought. We get a good one?
Michael Clinton said, wait, I thought Jarrod was the greatest putter of all time.
Goodness gracious.
Well, now hang on. Hang on.
Maybe from 30 plus feet.
Michael Clinton is correct because I went to that Scotty 7.5 and I became the number one putter in the world. He is correct about that.
Yeah, Tiger was the greatest putter in the world until you got that 7.5.
Until I got that 7.5. Hey, I told my surgeon about that putter.
Is that why you were texting me about it? Because he wanted one? Yeah. Yep.
I got him one sent out. He told me about his putting woes.
And 7.5's the answer?
I was like, listen, bro, you just relax. I'll send you a putter. Don't worry about it.
Shoot, he may make everything and do your neck surgery for free.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yep. Have y'all seen that video of Jack Nicklaus playing in that like Pro-Am or Celebrity Pro-Am? And
made that 100-foot putt?
The guy's down. This guy has like 150 foot. It's huge. He's got this huge putt, and Jack's standing up on top of this green does this. And Jack's standing up by the hole, and the guy's like, this is impossible. There's no way to make this putt.
You're talking about the Johnny Miller putt.
Yeah, he's like, it's impossible. And he goes, you want me to come putt it? He's like, come putt it. And Jack looks at the putt, steps up to it, putts it, Drano.
Hard to say that was luck too, bro.
No, heck no. That was one of those like pimp moments where the glasses come on and he's just Yeah, it is.
Well,
what
Jack
it is.
pimped it, man.
Yeah, he did.
As soon as it went in, he just turned and was like, "What's so hard about that?"
I do this.
Yeah,
This is what winners do.
that's what I do.
I want to remind you, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. We're happy to answer your questions live. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. But yeah, leave us some comments. Let us know what's on your mind. If you have any questions about golf, let us know in the comments. Football.
I have a quick
Okay,
I have a
okay,
question.
yeah.
Okay, so do you think with like how we were talking about movable weights and drivers, do you think that how Callaway was just early to the game there? Do you think that TaylorMade is just early when it comes to the carbon face?
You just mind humped me.
What do you think?
Do you think they're so
5, 7
innovative
years from now?
I'll let you go first since you're mind bombed, but I'm gonna my snap call to that is no, and I've got reasoning, but
Michael, I'll address that here in a minute because I want to answer Zarek's question. It is hard to be the leader in innovation without failing. Mm-hmm. And I'll say this from the carbon we developed in our rods. We really released a rod called the Dream Series. It was ultralight, but it could handle bigger baits and fish. We broke, out of 250 rods we brought to market, we broke 150 of them.
holy crap.
150 of the 250 we brought to market snapped 16 to 18 inches from the tip. It's because it was a undeveloped engineering. Here we are 5 years later using this. We're on generation 7 of that same blank, and our breakage has come down to 12 to 14%, which is
like-
industry standard.
Sounds like exactly what they were going through too.
Yeah.
So that's how I would answer that question. It's hard to be innovative without failing first. In order to be innovative, you have to fail. And I think TaylorMade is in a failing stage of learning right now. So possibly yes.
Here's my only issue with that. And I agree with what you just said. But you're talking about these companies, man. The pipelines, what most people don't know, they're 5-7 years ahead. So what they've got in the pipeline right now will really be released five years from now.
Here's where I'm going to disagree with you. I think TaylorMade's doing it different than Callaway and Titleist. I think TaylorMade is innovative, customer facing. They're testing innovation in the customer. Now, this may be a year out, but I think their innovation's being tested customer face. Whereas Titleist and Callaway are being tested in engineering phases behind the scenes. And so I think we're getting to see up front a lot of TaylorMade's failure because they're bringing it to the customer to test.
Yeah.
Before they bring it to, without ever doing prototyping really in the back stages.
Sure. So, and this will be interesting to hear kind of your rebuttal to this as well because of your knowledge of modulus and
Sure.
graphite and all this, okay? But here's my theory on it, Z, and the reason I would snap call no to your question. TaylorMade from the burner series to R11, R9, you think about the greatest drivers they ever had, okay? R11 was way up there. Okay, the white driver. Mm-hmm. R9 was incredible. M2, 2016 M2.
Sim2
Maybe not been a better one ever. Sim2 Max. Okay, all of these had something in common. They weren't as light as their lightweight techs. Okay. And here's where I'm going with that. I do believe that if you make it lighter, it will move faster, right? I think
Sure.
the consumer can swing it faster. And the theory behind that is that it will add ball speed because they can swing it faster and therefore it will go further. If you have the right tech in there with carbon face, you can also help control some of the dispersion dynamics. However, you are very, very limited in terms of how much fuel you can put or weight you can put behind where we're gonna hit the ball, which is the face, right? And where Titleist is excelling, Callaway is excelling, Ping is excelling, is if you look behind their face. Connor brought it up earlier. They have a VFT variable where it's built up in hitting zones. I mean, as much as I give Cobra crap, they've got their 16 points or whatever it is, right? That's a real thing because it puts mass behind the ball. And what I would say is it doesn't have to be necessarily exponentially lighter for the player to swing it faster. You have to create a tool that the player can put it in the pocket with regularity to increase their maximum speed potential. And as long as you have mass behind the face, titanium or whatever it is, it could still be carbon. I don't think you can produce enough of it in carbon to make it viable where it's going to have the ball speeds that the other companies have. And you might say, well, Jarrod, what's your proof for that? Well, I'll tell you my proof for that. In the current product, in the QI10 and the QI Max and just the core head, how do we get those drivers faster, guys?
Adjusting the swing weight.
With what?
The weight.
With the weight in the driver, right? We take that weight that they have, we unscrew it from the zone that weight is, and we put a heavier weight in there. We increase the swing weight a little bit, sure, but what are we really doing? We're adding fuel behind the hitting zone.
Sure.
So that's why I would snap call that and say no. Now, I'm not an engineer. So is it possible with carbon? That's where you would come in.
There's multi-material.
You know,
You can definitely do a different blend to get heavier resins and heavier material in the carbon.
Right.
So you can do that. Fujikura is a great example of this in their new Ventus or
Sure.
their Ventus series. Is it's got a steel weave in the carbon, which is really helping stabilize the shaft, but it does add weight. So there is ways to have a multi-material in the face of that driver. Now, and they may be testing that. It's yet to be seen. So I'm on the fence of saying yes. This could be the initiation of innovation that leads to something that we will see great 5 or 6 years down the road. But I just think they're customer facing with it right now.
Sure.
Hey, this innovation is future, but we're seeing some failure, and we're working on that.
yeah. By the way, there's no question they're working on it.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about a company that works their tail off in R&D. TaylorMade certainly that, and they're known for innovation.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's important to delineate, you know, the differences between innovation and invention.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, because all these companies are really innovative because they're taking something that exists and making it better.
TaylorMade invented.
TaylorMade is a company that forever
Yeah.
has invented new techs.
Sure. Yep.
Not necessarily innovated old techs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, their adjustable cog on the
Good
art.
question, though.
That was, yeah.
What are your thoughts? What do you think?
Man, I don't know. I really don't know. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like maybe a few years down the road, you're going to see other companies start to do it. But when Clinton asked the question, do you think TaylorMade's going to move on? My initial answer is no. I think they're going to stay with carbon. I think they're going to at least ride it for another couple of years.
Well, they've probably got a lot invested in it, so they probably have to, right? But we all know, everybody sitting here knows, it's a copycat industry in a lot of ways, right?
Sure.
So my question would be, why is nobody copycatting? Titleist had 2 years to copycat that.
Well, I guarantee you,
They were like, no.
if you were to open the vault of the R&D companies, there's carbon faces. There has to be, because it is a copycat industry.
Yeah.
There's carbon facers that are sitting in a vault of R&D that never got released, probably because of the same failures we're seeing with TaylorMade.
Yeah.
But I think this goes back to TaylorMade's more customer facing than
And I hate the word failure.
it is. It is a failure, but failure's not a negative word.
Yeah, they've had success.
Sure.
I'm not sitting here saying that TaylorMade hasn't had success. What I'm saying is that if this is a stone cold fact, if you take an AI smoke triple diamond, and you take an LS TaylorMade and do a non-biased fitting with it, what driver's going to win 9 times out of 10?
AI smoke. Sure. I agree.
And I truly believe that's mass versus carbon.
Yeah.
Maybe another thing to talk about with TaylorMade is if they want to stay in the carbon wood face, they need to move that weight port. Look at where the GT2 weight port is. Look at where the AI smoke weight port is. They're all centered.
Good point,
And you
Connor.
get those QI10s and even the stealths in the heel. Well,
Yeah.
maybe you put it behind the face, even maybe like an Adele eye or an Adele wedge style. Or yeah, maybe a couple different ports. I don't know how strong that would be, if that would hold up over time. We know there are warranty issues, but maybe you get more adjustable weight behind the face. And like you talked about, instead of it just having it in that heel, have it in those hitting areas so you can reinforce it with some weight. And that way you can stay with the light carbon, but still substantially affect that weight.
I think that works.
So you're saying put the slider on the core and the max head.
Yeah, and make it have different weights. Or, I mean, like Jarrod said, we're not engineers. They could do it in a couple different ways, but
This is purely observation, but to piggyback off that, Connor, and see if this makes sense. I've talked to customers a lot about the differences between internal tech and external tech, meaning tech that you can visually see with your eye versus tech that you can't see but you know is there.
Yeah.
So Callaway has ruled the iron market for the last several years because they have internal tech dynamics, which is what? Tungsten internal, 360 cup face, carbon fiber microspheres, right? All these different dynamics that are in the head that when you just look at the iron, you can't really delineate what that is. TaylorMade, on the other hand, has perfected that slot tech, right? That slot tech definitively creates more ball speed,
Sure.
right? And so which one's better? Well, with slot tech, generally speaking, or with external tech, there's a feel element that is different than internal tech.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, internal tech's going to feel a little bit softer, a little smoother. External tech, there's going to be, if you don't fill it with polymer or something, it's going to get clicky.
Yep. Yep. For sure.
Somebody had a question. What?
So you brought up a point of the PGA needs somebody to take the wand and or take the torch and move with it, and we think it's Scotty Scheffler that's kind of making that move. Michael Clinton and Justin Thomas brought up a good point. Social media golf is having a bigger impact than any tour player right now.
Go more into that. What do you mean?
Social media golfers, good.
I
Bryson
see.
DeChambeau, the Bryson Bros.
I love watching Bryson.
Yeah, even though
I
he is,
used to hate that guy.
even though he is a tour player.
I love him.
So
He's great.
Cool fact, we did reach out to his agent, try to get him on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, we did. I sent an email.
I
Haven't
want to
heard
try
back.
to break 50 with him. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be really cool.
It would be cool.
He'd need a bunch
mean-
of us from the shop. so we want to watch Bryson try to break 50.
Basically, yeah. But
I did send an email, but what social media has done for golf in the last 4 or 5 years is more than any tour player is doing currently. Bryson, although he is a tour player, his social media is having a bigger impact than him playing on Live is by a mile.
well, I think it also helps. It's kind of like Connor and I. We've always liked, and Z, you've liked it too, pro wrestling.
Yes.
Right? Like, what made pro wrestling so cool now is when they pulled back the curtain and you get to understand those people better. And like, if you look at what those guys have gone through to be professional wrestlers and to entertain people, bro, it's so freaking cool.
Yeah.
The injuries they deal with, the night ins, the night outs, some of it's some of the drama. But I think that's what Bryson has done a phenomenal job of, is he's pulled back the curtain, man. He's shown like what he works on, and just he's a regular dude.
And you're gonna watch him.
And have you seen him hit that drive that went 9 million miles at night and he's just smashed? Yeah.
Yeah, with the light up golf ball.
Yeah.
He's at some party or something. There's a bunch of people behind him, and they give him a lit up golf ball, and it's pitch black out on the golf course, and he sends one to the moon, dude. Just, it's so cool to watch.
Yeah, you got to look it up. After this.
Probably broke
It's
the driver
super cool.
face, but it is what it
He
is.
beat the crud out of that thing,
Yeah.
and I think the caption said it like he had been drinking or something, but it was freaking so cool.
Take a look at what it's doing for marketing too. You know how many people are coming in and asking about those jumbo grips and asking about one length irons?
Yeah. Jumbo Max grips.
Yeah.
Well, I want to touch on that though. I mean, I think that's something that people need to understand. Bryson DeChambeau made those specifically for Bryson DeChambeau.
Oh yeah.
And his swing is tailored behind how he builds those clubs.
One plane swing.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So to suggest that would work for everybody is just it won't. And I believe if Bryson was sitting in this chair, which hopefully that'll happen one day,
Yeah,
that'd be
heck
so
yeah.
sick. But I think I would love to hear his take on this. But so I would say at this point it's more of an opinion that I'm giving than maybe fact. But I know the intricacy that he uses to create those clubs, and bro, he makes every one of those irons specifically for the way he moves at it.
Yeah.
It's just something to think about.
It's his swing. But social media is making and we're even seeing a lot of these like good. Callaway made an AI driver specifically for good. Fujikura made a good vintage shaft. There's a lot of these influencers in social media that are getting staff deals and marketing deals with Callaway, TaylorMade, big brand deals just because of their impact in social media, YouTube golf, Instagram, the Creator Classic right before the Tour Championship.
Roger Steele.
Roger Steele, Instagram. He's on Instagram, and the impact he got to play at what course is it? The Tour Champion, East Lake. East Lake. He got to play East Lake 2 weeks before the Tour Championship, and it had just opened from being completely renovated. This like social media is giving these opportunities for people that we would normally never see to make an impact in the game for average people.
I don't want to overstep too much here, but I can tell you 100% that what JT just said on there is 1,000% correct. And I just thought of this, but it reminded me of a conversation that I was having at Augusta when I went this year with the Callaway people. And I'm sitting there with a couple of regionals, but we're watching all the players hit balls and stuff. And this topic came up. I'm like, man, how challenging is it as Callaway to try to find the right guy out here, right? That can move the needle, that has the right personality and so on and so forth. And you know what he said? He's like, honestly, man, we're not as focused on that anymore. He goes, obviously the tour game is important, right? We want to have representation and all of that. But our primary focus is if a player has a good social media presence and all of that, we want them.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? It's just the way the world is now.
It is interesting.
It's just the way it is.
Let me ask the question like this. Do you think social media influencers drive more sales than seeing it on TV?
I think they drive more excitement, which in turn gets you playing, which in turn maybe gets your brain thinking.
Do you think more people? Let me rephrase it. Do you think more people are buying an AI smoke driver because they see Good has their own version of it than if they see Xander Schauffele hitting an AI smoke driver?
I think it more so just
I think they
changes
have more
the script.
opportunity. Yeah, they have more opportunity to see it.
That's why
Yeah.
Callaway's going after influencers because it's driving more sales.
Influencers. Can you believe this is a thing?
No.
Influencers.
Hate it, take it or leave it. Like hate it, hate it all you want.
I don't hate it.
I hate social media. I really do.
I just cannot believe
Because-
influencers is a job.
And
It makes so much money.
It's
bro,
crazy.
it makes so much money. It's wild.
There's a lady here in town, bro. Her and her husband just quit their job.
Yeah.
They're building this beautiful house and everything because they're influencers. Like, what the heck does that mean?
They have people that watch them.
Yeah.
They share their life online.
They're interested in what old girl's trying on this dress. Oh, you need to go buy this dress. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why?
See, this is
crazy, man.
This is the craziest part.
We're talking about
here.
this.
Here's where it can get really interesting: is if Callaway and TaylorMade start offering affiliate links,
Yeah.
commission-based links. Hey, I'm hitting the new AI smoke driver. Click the link in the bio to buy it. When they click that link, it links it back to the influencer. The influencer gets 1 or 2% of the sale.
Wow.
That's why those people make so much money. Hey, look at the dress I'm trying on. You should buy it. Anytime they click that link, she gets paid a commission on the dress.
Yeah.
So, Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, affiliate links.
We'll be an affiliate link for you.
We already are. When you walk through that door, we're an affiliate link for you. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I don't think they do that yet. But
That's fascinating.
yeah,
That is just fascinating.
we have to wrap this up. Football. Who y'all got this week? We probably had one of the toughest schedules for 2 weeks in a row. We had Texas last week, who we played remarkably close.
I thought y'all were going to get your butt kicked.
So did I.
And holy crap,
we covered.
Mississippi State.
We covered.
Okay, you covered, but
It's a win, big dog.
you could have won.
Hey, even though we lost, Ole Miss lost to Kentucky.
I could not believe that.
And I'm just
Well, Kentucky just came off that really competitive game against Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm just really happy about it.
Kentucky's got some dogs, man.
So
I hate to say it, but they do, man.
we got
Hey.
we had Texas last week, and then we got Georgia this week, who's coming off of a really pissed off game.
Yeah, y'all are going to lose by 50.
We're gonna get curb stomped for sure.
I'm going to tell you something, and this is just kind of a sidebar. Alabama, Georgia, hands down,
Best game of the year.
maybe the best game I've ever watched.
How about that 17-year-old kid?
It was awesome. That kid's 17.
Yeah.
Go
Ryan
ahead.
Williams is
Ryan
next
Williams,
level.
Yeah.
Go ahead from 75 yards. Makes a play off the defender to catch
Listen,
the ball.
50-50 ball.
Can you cover him better than the Georgia kid was covering him?
No.
Oh, and then he
The dude contorted his body to catch the ball.
And then took it to the house.
basically made those two DBs run into each other too.
Yeah.
That was filthy.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact. We're going to get back to football. Justin Thomas said the good driver sold out in 48 hours.
Wow.
So,
Hey, there's this guy. I forgot to ask this because I just think this guy's hilarious. And I just want to see if y'all know him. But he talks like kind of like this.
like the
and
Joker.
He eats like the sandwich, and the sandwich is unbelievable.
Oh, is he's got longer hair, he's real tall and skinny.
No.
Oh,
He
same
always
guy.
wears a have a day hat. Let's have a day. And he plays golf, but he was just on the Bryson
Podcast.
deal. The
Break 50.
And if you haven't checked him out,
Bob does sports?
It might be him.
Bob does sports.
Yeah.
That may be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bob does sports always wears a have a day hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy makes me laugh so hard. I'm sitting here and I just ordered this coffee.
It's Bob.
And
Does
he's
Sports.
kind of like a mix between just a regular guy and Sebastian Maniscalco. You know? He's freaking hilarious,
Yes,
man.
Bob Does Sports.
Anyway. Alabama Georgia game, maybe one of the best games I've ever watched. You gave me a look like, what are you talking about, bro? Georgia was down 30.
Yeah.
They came back.
Yeah, but remember the Super Bowl where Atlanta was up 28-3.
Yeah.
They got beat too.
Did
The
now,
GOAT. Michigan great, just so you know.
did Alabama let them come back because they were up so much?
Nah.
Fourth
No,
quarter?
man. I thought Alabama was trying their best to
Because you know
really-
sometimes they play that prevent and just kind of
No, man. There is a secret to beating Bama, and A&M did this with Johnny Football. And the other times, because y'all beat them twice, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. A&M did this both times, and it's just it's their kryptonite. Even when Saban was there, throw it deep. Throw it deep. Throw it deep. And for some reason, and I guess it's because Bama probably plays a lot of man because they've got the dogs to do that with. But Georgia started throwing it deep and good stuff started happening, dude. And so that was my point, Clinton. If they were playing prevent or if they were playing, coverage, cover 3 or cover 2 Tampa or something, like those passes wouldn't have been completed. Yeah. So I really feel like Bama I still feel like they had the foot on the gas. I think Georgia just did a great job. And Christy Baylord, Jeff, that makes the most glorious jambalaya in the world, dear friends of ours, it was her birthday.
Is she a Georgia fan?
She is a huge Georgia fan. And when Georgia took the lead, I texted her. I was like, oh, my gosh, happy birthday to you. This is crazy. And literally, I can't believe it.
30 seconds later.
I'm sorry, Christy. I cursed it.
Go ahead.
30 seconds later, old boy's
Go
going to the
ahead.
house, right? I was like, I'm an idiot.
I got to work Saturday. I was wearing my Mississippi State shirt, and I walked up to Nate, and I shook his hand and said, good win, boy. Good win. And then I walked up to Donnie and said, hey, good win next week. It's just...
So Donnie told me he was actually very, very upset from the Georgia loss. And, I've accused Donnie of being kind of,
Bandwagoner?
a bandwagoner. It's so convenient that your team is so dominant, and I never knew you were a Georgia guy. But he actually has always been a Georgia fan. And he told me last night when I came up to do a little work, right? He was still here doing lessons. So we got to chit-chat a little bit. He was truly devastated, man. He was truly devastated. I said, let me tell you something, D. Don't be devastated. I saw two things happen. Georgia gelled that game, and I feel sorry for whoever has to play them for the rest of the year.
They're going to run through Texas.
I think they're going to beat the crap out of Texas.
It's a hot take.
Well, and also the 12-team
think they will beat
playoff
them like a
format,
drum.
you're not out. I mean, you can.
Exactly.
You can make
Connor.
it super
I think they're
easy
going to
still.
make it. Yeah.
How about the Aggies being the number 1 team in the SEC right now? 2-0 in conference.
About to be 3-0.
Hey, man.
Well, that's because
think it's
Longhorns have
great.
only played one game in conference, and it was against Mississippi State.
I'm looking at the schedule here.
Who's Big Blue got this week?
Well, we have Washington at Washington.
But that's not a hard game anymore.
It's a rematch from last year.
Well, Connor, I would say that, but our quarterback, who did show signs,
He threw a ball 7 yards.
yes,
I was impressed.
and completed it. Thank you very much. And listen, Alex Orji actually showed me he had some arm strength. But my favorite thing Alex Orji did, and Z, you'll appreciate this. If I could have figured out how to rewind it and took a video, I would have. He trucked a linebacker, dude, and stood over him. Like Orji didn't even go to the ground. That guy is a walking muscle. And he's
That's why his teammates love him so much.
they do love him, dude. And so here's what I'm going to say. Michigan's going to go to Washington. And guys, I think we're just going to keep scaring the crap out of me week in and week out. Michigan, 17. Washington, 14.
Close game.
Very close game.
Low scoring game.
Michigan will do exactly what they did against Minnesota. We're going to get up on them early because we're going to run the ball, impose our will. Orgy's going to come out doing good. Then Sharon's going to go in at halftime and come out, and we'll be flat and look like idiots, and they'll score 2 quick touchdowns, and then we're just going to have to hang on for dear life.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm changing my score. 20-17 Michigan.
Yeah. I got Mississippi State, Georgia, probably 57-14.
I was going to say 73-3. I don't think they're going to score any touchdowns. But
I think we're going to get the prevent defense at the end of the game and get a couple touchdowns.
so y'all have got a tough one at home.
Mizzou.
Who you got? I mean, I know you got the Aggies, but is Mizzou good?
Yeah, they're ranked 9.
Dang.
Who y'all
4-0.
ranked? What are y'all ranked?
25.
So if you beat Mizzou, do you think
Wait.
you get in the top 12?
No.
Nah, not yet.
Probably moved to 20.
No, I'd say like 16. That's fair.
We barely kept our 25th spot after the win this weekend. Barely.
Like barely.
Just
Like
barely.
barely, man.
That Arky game's always
Arkansas plays everybody tough.
Do you know?
They
Do
do,
you
but-
know what I did? I went to Jerry's World and watched it.
What?
I watched the Arky A&M game at Jerry's World
yeah.
in section C109, baby.
You went to the game?
I was front row Joe. I've got some great pictures. I'll show you.
I bet Nicole is just happier than.
I did it for her.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted her to get to go and see A&M play live, and she was so worried about me, and I was like, honey, it's literally, I'm going to be sitting the entire time. I'll be fine. I'm not. She was like, well, what if you get excited? I was like, I'm not. I don't.
I'm not even a Cowboys fan anymore. I can't get excited in this place.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was the most disgusting part, is having to give Jerry some of the money. But dude, we stole those tickets. $300.
For both or per?
Yeah, $300.
Nice.
$300.
That's the last one that they're playing at Jerry's World too. They're
get
going to
in.
go back to home and home.
So I was going to bring that up. They're never going back there. Isn't that crazy?
I think
it's better though that it's going to go back to home and home.
man, I like meeting in the middle.
You do?
I do. I think it's pretty cool because like the first year that A&M was in the SEC, I think the game was in Fayetteville, and then right after that, I think it's been Jerry's World since.
We hadn't got to talk about it. But bro, that Q y'all got, he's the truth.
He's good.
He can sling that thing, and he's shifty, boy. Slippery. And he just needs a little bit, he's kind of like Alex, but he's way more advanced. He's kind of like Alex Orgy, but he's I'm not comparing them by any means. Your guy throws it way better already. But I think he's got a way high ceiling, dude. That kid's special. And that Moss,
Oh, Le'Veon's
he's
a beast.
boy. He was running over people. He took over that game. That final drive, he took over that game. It was awesome. You should have heard the reaction when they pulled him out right before y'all were going in to score. But he was,
booing. They started booing.
well, they were upset that they took him out because everybody wanted him to score because he worked so hard on that drive. But that guy, I don't know, man. He was pretty gassed. But I mean, he ran 5 plays that were just incredible. It was awesome to watch him play. Honestly, man.
Robbie Berger.
I love him.
Robbie Berger is the guy that eats sandwiches and plays golf.
Robbie Berger.
Yep, Robbie Berger.
Yeah.
Berger.
Well, that guy's hilarious, and
Yeah.
I love him. There was one other game I was going to bring up, Iowa and Ohio State.
Okay. Did Ohio State lose?
No.
Ohio State's favored by 21.
Oh, it's coming this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, Iowa State,
No, Iowa.
Iowa. You think they're going to cover that? Or you think Iowa's going to play Ohio State tough?
I think they'll play them tough for at least 2 or 3 quarters. But I don't know if y'all saw this kid from Ohio State. I still think the kid from Bama was more impressive.
Dude, Jeremiah, you talking about Jeremiah?
Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah. Man, I don't know who's better between those two.
You see that mitt?
Yeah.
One-handed.
2 one-handed pitches in a row.
2 of them. Like this,
Snag
bro.
mittens.
Making this kid look silly. Just holding that thing like
What
this.
is Ohio State ranked?
3, I think.
3. Okay. Now, I know you're an A&M guy. Connor, I know you're an A&M guy. How is Texas number 1?
They're not
It's
anymore.
Texas.
They're not anymore?
Bama's number 1 now.
They're going to do whatever they can to prop them up. I hate Texas.
I do too. I can't believe they're number 1.
They're not.
Ole Miss has to travel to South Kakalaki.
Oh, yeah, but
I've got the Gamecocks.
hey, Ole Miss has
What's the
some.
line?
Ole Miss is 9.
I'll take Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going in there with chapped rear.
Yeah, but their chapped rear is their head coach is Lane Kiffin, bud.
Yeah, but they're going in there with chapped rear. I'll take the 9.
Okay. Well, I'll bet you anything you want on that one.
25.
Okay, 25 it is.
I'll take it.
Both of y'all?
Yeah.
Bet.
All right.
Oh wait, you're taking him or me?
No.
You're on Kakalaki?
I hate Ole Miss.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're on.
So do
Kakalaki.
I. But okay.
You're gonna really hate him now because you're gonna lose $50.
$50 on them. What's the line on the Mississippi State Georgia game? 42.
What time do they play? Oh, here it is. Nope, missed it. Hang on, stand by. Is it this week?
No. Georgia plays Auburn this
Oh,
week,
we have a bye week.
Yeah,
so there won't be a line.
that's a scary game. Except for it's at Georgia. Okay, I just saw one that I think's interesting. Z.
While we're finding interesting games, let us know who your team is in the comments and what they're going to do this weekend.
Hang on, I just had it. Then you mind bomb me with Georgia, and there's a big trap game coming.
For who?
Well, I'm an idiot. I can't.
Archie in Tennessee?
No. I think Tennessee is the real deal, man. Oh. Here it is. You ready? You're going to love this hot take. Number 1, Alabama travels to the 2-2 mighty Vanderbilt. Alabama is favored by 23 points. Give me Vandy, and I might even take the money line.
100.
On which part?
I'm taking Bama.
So you'll give up the 23 for a hundo?
Yes.
Bet.
I ain't taking this.
telling you.
Bama's bit me in the back.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh, okay.
I'm serious. I think Vandy, think about it. Alabama's on this high because they just beat Georgia. They thinking hey, Alabama, we good. Vandy can sneak up on them.
Bruh. Stop it.
Listen, dude, let me just tell you something about Vandy.
We're not talking about baseball here.
Oh, I might have been looking at baseball. Vandy lost by 3 to Missouri. At Missouri. Vandy whooped Virginia Tech in the first game of the season.
It's Virginia Tech.
Bro, there's not this isn't 02-01 Virginia Tech game.
Hey, they beat Alcorn State 55-0.
How much they pay that junior college to come play?
Come on, man. Come on, man.
You
We'll see next
wanna
week.
Know, you want to know something embarrassing?
What?
We paid Toledo $1.4 million to come play us at Starksville and got our tails whooped.
Dude, I really thought Mississippi State was going to be better this year.
No. We got that coach from Andrews and his whole crew.
Jeff Levy.
Mr. Labby.
Yeah.
Andrews, Texas.
Yeah.
And
Are
he
you
he
serious?
brought his whole crew.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. It's cool until you lose the whole freaking season, Jeff.
They lost their whole team, though. They lost their whole team
Yeah.
from last year.
Did you hear what Portnoy said?
Oh,
He'll put
yeah.
$3 million up for Michigan to get a NIL QB every year. He's going to put $3 million up. You know, you still cheer for the Buckeyes for whatever reason. $20 million roster. Cool.
Justin Thomas said, "You know what they say about Jarrod and his money? Soon parted."
He ain't wrong about that.
Okay, guys, join us next week. We actually have Andrew's coach next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming on the podcast. If you want to,
We've confirmed that.
it's confirmed. I talked to him yesterday. Z made a call for him.
Bergen's coming.
Bergen's coming next
That's
Tuesday.
going to be awesome.
Coach Bergen from Andrews, Texas will be on live with us next Tuesday right here, Facebook and YouTube. If you have not hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Join us. Turn on the notifications. Every time we go live or video posted, you'll get a little text on your phone saying it's been posted. Thanks for joining us live. Hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will see you again very, very soon. Peace out.
Love you, Justin Thomas.